So this is a little quick start guide for figuring out how to quickly start animating in Drawpile. You're probably going to have something like this if it's your first time using Drawpile. But in order to start animating, what you're going to want to do is go into View, Docs, Timeline. You're going to need Timeline. And then you're going to need onion skins if you want to use onion skins, and adjust the levels of the colors and however many frames you can see at once. Personally, I don't really care for it, so I'm going to turn it off. But here you can add new tracks and go through individual frames like you would in any other animation software. Something I'd also recommend at this time is changing the defaults for flipping back and forth to the arrow keys, which you can do by going into, I think it's Preferences, and then Shortcuts, and then let's see. Yep, you've got, I've already changed it, but you can change previous frame to the or the colon button, and then scroll down a little bit more, which is really annoying because you'd hope that they're right beside each other, but they're not. Yeah, here it is, next frame. Then I usually do it as the period button, just so they're like the same. Now that should be working. So the main button you're going to be using is this kind of stopwatch with the plus up here. This adds a new layer and then assigns it to your first frame or whichever frame you're on. And what you can do is go onto every frame of the track and add a new frame and assign it immediately to assign the layer to a new frame, whichever one it is. So for gonna do a little bouncing ball, so I'm probably gonna need, like, I don't know, 8 frames. And if you're in an active server, it's really nice if you would put all of these into your own kind of layer, just to keep things organized for everyone else. And of course, rename all layers. And this timeline track system is actually completely separate from whatever's up here. So you can literally rearrange the layers however you want in here, and it won't affect the actual frames, the sequence of the frame. So you'll need to reassign layers if you want to change things around in here. Reassign them to a frame up here. So we got all of my layers on the track that I want. So now I'm going to add a new track. Turn this one into my background. Then I'm going to go onto the first frame, add a layer, make a nice little crown for my bouncing ball. And then I'm just going to quickly animate a bouncing ball and then export it just to show you guys what that kind of looks like. Something I forgot to mention is that you actually have two different views. So this normal view will display all of the layers all at the same time, kind of like how you would expect in an illustration. What I personally like to do is, once I actually have everything set up here layer-wise, is move it over to the frame view, because that way you can actually flip through your drawings and have it show up kind of sequentially, and you can move back and forth kind of freely. So I'm just going to do that real quick. Alright, so here's our cute little 8-frame bouncing ball, and when you're done with your animation, you can go into, if you press the little play button, it'll open up the flipbook, and you can actually see what it looks like once you export it as a GIF or you save it. And underneath here you can actually adjust the FPS and the range of which frames you're going to be actually saving and exporting. So I think that 24 is probably a little bit too fast for this little 8-frame animation, so I'm going to lower it down to, I don't know, 12? Nah, like maybe 8. Sure, why not? And then once you're happy with that, you can hit the little export, and you'll get the option to export either as a GIF or as exporting it as an image sequence, which you can then use in other video editing software. That's pretty much it. And some other things I probably didn't cover is on this little docket, you can also adjust the FPS up here. And that's pretty much it. So have fun.